All right, what's good? What's good, man? Let's get into it. Let's talk about NFL free agency. Now, NFL free agency hasn't officially started yet, but a lot of signings, a lot of big news, and a lot of stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about it. Number one, I'm gonna talk about the big news. I'm not gonna talk about like random stuff. Like prime example, I'm looking at my phone right now, and it just said the Rams have agreed to terms with the guard Jonah Jackson on a 3-year deal. I don't think anybody cares about Jonah Jackson, nor does if Jonah Jackson was walking down the street, none of you would know who he is. So we're going to talk about the big events. Number one, the 49ers have cut I'm freaking out Arca Armstead, who I thought was a pretty good D tackle. I don't know why they're cutting him. Maybe just because of salary cap or whatever the case may be. Maybe they're trying to bring in another D tackle. You never know. Maybe trade for him, but this is a big cut, and whatever team gets him is going to get a decent D tackle. Where he will go, I have no idea, but the 49ers are cutting loose with Armstead. T. Higgins has demanded a trade request from the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I was very interested on the fact that T. Higgins got franchise tag. I thought the Bengals were honestly going to sign him to see what was going to happen, or I thought they were going to let him. Well, I didn't think the Bengals were going to let T. Higgins go, especially the year that he had, especially the games without Jamar Chase. Now, granted, I think T. Higgins is a good wide receiver. I don't think he's a number one. I think he has that Juju Smith-Schuster effect where he's good when Chase Young is there, but not Chase Young. Jamar Chase is there. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. He did look good every time Chase wasn't out there. So we'll see about that. He demanded a trade, and we'll see what team gets him. Obviously, he's most likely going to the NFC. I mean, maybe the Cowboys since they're letting Gallup go. Maybe Washington if they get Caleb. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if the Panthers could trade for him because, I mean, Bryce Young does need a number one. Bryce Young does need a number one receiver, but I don't know what they can give up. Their first round pick is with the Bears. I mean, unless they're going to take next year's first round pick or second, third round picks this year. But maybe the Rams, maybe I don't know what team could get him. Maybe the Niners. You never know. But he's demanded a trade. We'll see what happens with that. DeAndre Swift has signed with the Chicago Bears. Now, the question is, are they going to keep Khalil Herbert on the Bears? That's the biggest question. Are they going to keep Khalil Herbert on the Bears? That's the question everybody's asking. I guess this is a decent signing for the Bears. This is a great signing. I don't have to deal with DeAndre Swift going up against my Giants, even though my Giants really have no chance against the Eagles this year. So it is what it is there. But, I mean, DeAndre Swift, pretty good running back, can move the chains. Is he a good catcher? I think he's pretty good catching the ball. And if they have Khalil Herbert, that's a good double head monster. You have Khalil Herbert and DeAndre Swift. And with them drafting Caleb, I mean, they're going to be running the ball a lot. So it is what it is there. Now let's get into the bigger news. Saquon Barkley has a lot of interest with the Texans and the Eagles. Now, obviously, the Texans want to build pieces around C.J. Stroud as they had a good year last year. Now, a lot of people are going to be gunning for their head because they're not the surprise team anymore. People are going to be looking forward to playing the Texans. So I can understand them wanting to add Saquon Barkley, pay Saquon Barkley since they don't have to pay C.J. Stroud for realistically another 4 years because this is his second year on his rookie contract and he has 3 more years, including the 5th-year option on his rookie contract. And also, they want to add a run game. They want to add a run game to C.J. Stroud's game and to the Texans game. So I can see that. The Eagles, on the other hand, at first I was like, that's just the Eagles being the Eagles. Anytime the Giants or the Cowboys or whoever signs somebody, releases somebody, they want to, be like, oh, the Eagles are interested just to mess with us. But with DeAndre Swift going to Chicago, I can definitely see it. Now, I don't know what the Eagles' cap situation is. I know the only person that they're paying is Jalen Hurts. I know they're going to cut Bradbury, most likely Slay. Jalen Carter's on a rookie deal. I know A.J. Brown's getting paid. So besides A.J. Brown, and I think Smith still has a couple more years on his rookie. Devontae Smith has a few has a few more years on his rookie contract. So maybe they can pay Saquon the 14. I heard that they were trying to pay him 14 million, which I mean that's probably better than the market is going to get for Saquon. So maybe he goes to the Eagles, which will be very interesting. We'll see what happens. Jalen Hurts and Saquon, the Eagles offensive line. Now, I mean, I don't know now. I know they signed a guard, but I don't know what they do now with Jason Kelsey retiring. So we'll see what happens there. And as it goes for Saquon going to the Eagles, I mean, good riddance. I mean, Saquon, I didn't want you in the first place. I mean, I'm still mad we couldn't trade him, but I have a whole Giants video that I posted on Friday or Saturday that you guys can go watch and enjoy as I rant about the New York Football Giants and their incompetency. So good two signings. We'll see what happens with that. Kirk Cousins is drawing interest between the Falcons and another team, I believe, is drawing interest with the Falcons. Now, this means that the Falcons are so disgusted with the Eagles, and me and my co-host CEO talked about this on the Unfiltered Sports podcast on Sunday. You guys should go watch it. Make sure to subscribe, peasants. But we were talking about how the Bears really think that they're going to get a first-round pick or even a second-round pick for Fields when he's done nothing. So that's telling me that the Falcons are saying, listen, we don't need Fields. We would like to have him. He's from Atlanta. He's still young. He has potential. But Kirk Cousins at this point is better than Fields. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Fields has done nothing in this league. Fields hasn't even done what Kirk Cousins has done in this league. I think Kirk Cousins is top 5 in passing yards every single year. He's thrown 40 touchdowns at one point. He's taken a team to the playoffs, I think 3 to 4 different times with 2 different teams. One with Washington and I think 2 to 3 times with the Vikings. He's had a best record in the league. Justin Fields has not come close to that. An average Kirk Cousins season is like what? Maybe 8-7 wins, maybe. I believe 8. Justin Fields can't even do that within a season. So, I mean, maybe the Falcons are trying to threaten the Bears saying, listen, you better take that 3rd, 4th round pick we offered you and give us Fields. Or maybe they are all sold on Kirk Cousins because looking at that division, you have Baker Mayfield, you got Derek Carr, and then you got Bryce Young. Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback out of all those people. Are we sure Justin Fields is the best quarterback for the Falcons in that division? Because you can make a case Baker is better than Fields. You can make a case Derek Carr, who I hate, is better than Fields. And Bryce Young, I mean, I guess, yeah, you could say Justin Fields is better than Bryce Young, but that's not really saying much. But once again, with Bryce Young, we still have to see. Kirk Cousins, if you give him to the Falcons with all that weapons and offensive line, that offensive coordinator, they're winning the playoffs. They're going to the playoffs. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're going to the playoffs. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So it is what it is there. And then let's talk about the big one, the main event. Russell Wilson to the Steelers. Now, me and my co-host kind of talked about this. I said I was going to make a video about this. Honestly, team-friendly deal. I mean, my co-host CEO brings up a good point that it might not fit. You know what I'm saying? But you never know, man. You never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Russell, I can see this going one or two ways. I do believe the Steelers are going to make the playoffs because Russell is better than Pickett and Mason Rudolph. I don't care if Mason Rudolph had a good 5 games. He was still trash. He's way better than Pickett. So, and he's better than Trubisky, even though Trubisky's on the Bills, but they had Trubisky last year, so I'm going to say that. So, I mean, this could go well. I mean, maybe Russ, shout out to the random editor. He said he might have a Baker Mayfield year where he might have a bounce back year. I can see that. Russ is probably very, very humbled. Russ did have a step back from 2022 to now. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, man. We all know, that division is so hard and that division so, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it could go one or two ways. It could be really, really good. Russ has a good season. They make it to the 2nd, 3rd round. Or it could go really, really bad to the point where Russ is going to be a USFL talent, as my co-host CEO likes to say. But that's all free agency. The big news in free agency as I look at my phone on Instagram, nothing really happening. Oh, wait. The Jacksonville Jaguars are signing kicker Will Luzzi. That's, I don't even know, some Saints kicker. That's really, really big news right there. But that's my thoughts, man. What are yours? What's your thoughts on free agency so far? And it's just picking up. I'll definitely be covering free agency throughout this whole week, especially Wednesday when it really picks up, man. RJ out.